Hey guys, this is Mr. Kidd again. I just wanted to do a quick refresher on our break apart strategy for multiplication. If you remember in class, we had this particular problem. Mr. Jones needs to buy 14 dozen bagels for a big party. How many bagels does he need to buy? Well, first of all, we know that a dozen is 12 bagels. So if we were to draw a picture of the number of bagels that he would need to buy, we could do that easily by doing this. One bag of bagels, 2 bags of bagels, 3 bags of bagels, 4 bags of bagels, 5 bags of bagels, 6 bags of bagels, 7 bags of bagels, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So there are 14 bags of bagels, and he said he needed to buy them in dozens. So we know that in each bag there are 12 bagels in each bag. And I'm not going to keep writing bagels each time, but there are 12 bagels in each bag. So, the equation that we could write to solve this, we know we have the same amount in each of these groups, and that should be the trigger. Oh, this would be multiplication, because multiplication is having a number of groups with the same amount in each group. So how many groups do we have? We have 14 bags, and in each bag we have 12 bagels. And this will give us the total number of bagels. We'll call that D. Now, 14 groups of 12, or 4 times 12, is not one of our multiplication facts or combinations that we should automatically know, our number facts. So we need to find a way, well, how can I count all these bagels in an efficient way without having to count each and every one, or add all of these 12s up together, which we could. Well, if we look at this, one of the ways that we could do that is that we know that 10 is one of the easiest ways that we can multiply, because we know that the pattern when we multiply by 10, all we have to do is put a 0 behind the number that we're multiplying by 10. So right off the bat, I see that if I right here, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So this is 10 groups of 12, which is easy to count. So I know in those 10 bags, we have 120 bagels. Again, it's very important to know what these numbers represent. The 10 in this case is the number of bags that we're talking about, and of course 12 is still our number of bagels in each bag. We still haven't counted all of them, so we must also, we see another grouping here that is one of our facts, and we know that that is 4 bags of 12, which we know is 48. Again, the number of bags, the number of bagels. Now remember, we were trying to count 14 bags. So if you look here, we have 10 bags, and here's another 4 bags, and together that equals 14 bags of bagels. So now what do I do with each of these amounts? Well, the hint was just there because 10 bags plus 4 more bags equals our 14 bags. So we know that we have to add our 120 plus the 48 more bagels in those bags equals 168 bagels. So 10 times 12, 10 groups of 12, plus 4 more groups of 12 equals 14 groups of 12, which is what we were trying to figure out. Now, that is not the only way that we can break apart those amounts. So if you'll bear with me just a second, and let me draw those bags of bagels again. So I have my 14 bags, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And of course there are still 12 bagels in each bag. So instead of grouping 10 groups of 12, we may look at this and say, well, I know what 12 groups of 12 is, so I'm still trying to figure out, I'm still figuring out 14 times 12. So 14 times 12 is the same thing as those 12 groups of 12 right here, plus 2 more groups of 12. Again, this is the number of bags I'm counting. These are bagels in those bags. Same thing here, bags, bagels. So I have accounted for all 14 groups. 12 bags right here, and 2 more bags right there is 14 bags of the bagels. So all we have to do is that 14 times 12 is equal to, 12 times 12 is 144, plus the 2 more bags that we have, which is 24. And of course, that equals 168 bagels, the same amount. And it should equal the same amount. Why? Because it's the same number of bags of bagels. We just counted them in a different number. Again, these are not the only 2 ways. We could also look at here again. I have my 14 bags of bagels. But this time, instead of doing 10 or 12 at a time, I'm going to do 14 bags of bagels. I can do 7 bags of the 12 bagels. And 7 more bags of my bagels. I still counted all 14 bags. And 7 times 12 is one of our multiplication facts, which is 84. And then this means it's 84. And as we see again, that 14 times 12 is 168 bagels. Now, if you notice, we were breaking apart the factor of 14 in each of these scenarios, or each of these examples that I've given. But if we didn't want to break 14 apart, we could break apart the number of bagels. We could break apart 12. So instead of looking at all 12 bagels in the bag at one time, we can look at as it having 2 bagels and 2 more. 10 bagels and 2 more, because 10 plus 2 is 12. So 10 bagels and 2 more. 10 bagels and 2 more. 10 bagels and 2 more, and so forth. I'm going to write all those in. So now, instead of breaking the number of bags that we're counting, we're breaking the number of bagels. So we still have the problem of 14 bags of 12 bagels. But now we're going to count the 10 bagels in each of the 14 bags. So then we would have 14 bags still, but now we're not counting all the bagels, we're only counting 10 of the bagels at a time. But that doesn't count all our bagels. We still have 2 left in each of those bags. So again, how many 2s are we counting? Because there are 14 bags. So now we would have the 14 bags of 2 bagels. We count all of them. So 14 groups of 12, so 14 times 10, again, another nice number. Multiples of 10 are easy to multiply by, which is 140. Plus 14 times 2, that's simple enough, 28. So 14 times 12 is equal to 168 bagels. Same amount, we're just breaking them a factor up to make it easier to count. So remember, when we are multiplying 2-digit by 2-digit numbers, if we think about how can we break up those groups into multiples of 10, will make our multiplication much easier. Good luck, and if you have questions, you know to always ask.